And we're off. Pat Armstrong from Cuthbert is the speaker today this week, who will be speaking about one of the iconic places in our hometown. Please join us as we enter the third Heritage Joe's Palm Room. We continue our service above self-ethos with mentoring at Iroquois Western High Schools, Repair Fair and Recenter Ministry dinners, to name a few, and down the stretch we come. The West Louisville Housing Initiative is preparing to award its first home loan, and the winner, in a dead heat, are the folks we serve and ourselves who get more out of the service than we put into it. Welcome, Rotarians, to our... Welcome, Rotarians guests, to the October 6th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I'm Walt Kuno, and you're not. Providing our invocation today is Cynthia Miles Brown, co-owner of Sinorama Disney and a club director. Welcome, Cynthia.
I don't know how to follow that. I don't think I want to. Well, I try, always when I do invocations, to have the invocation kind of wrap up with our speaker and try to keep it non-sectarian. But this kind of has a sectarian slant today because it was just too sweet not to share. And I think all of us can kind of relate to this in a certain way. If you'll please join me in your customary attitude of prayer. This prayer version is by videographer and YouTuber Rufian Zenyatta 15. Feed me, water and care for me, and when the day's work is done, provide me with shelter, a clean, dry bed, and a stall wide enough for me to lie down in comfort. Always be kind to me. Talk to me. Your voice often means as much to me as the rains. Pet me sometimes, that I may serve you the more gladly and learn to love you. Do not jerk the reins, and do not whip me when going uphill. Never strike, beat, or kick me when I do not understand what you want. I try to carry you and your burdens without a murmur, and wait patiently for you for long hours of the day or night. Without the power to choose my shoes or my path, I sometimes fall on the hard pavements, which I have often prayed might be such of nature that to give me safe and sure footing. Remember that I must be ready at any moment to lose my life in your service. And finally, O Master, when my useful strength is gone, take my life in the kindest way, and your God will reward you here and hereafter. You will not consider me irreverent if I ask this in the name of him who was born in the stable.
Thank you, Cynthia. And now for our pledge and four-way test, Chris Manzo, owner and principal of SNDBX Design Collaborative and co-chair of the Membership Development and Engagement Committee. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, President Walt. Please join me in the four-way test.
Nope. Pledge.
Pledge first. Already dropped the ball. I'm the first horse out of the race. All right. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Please be seated. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Please be seated. If you're a member of the Rotary Club Fund Board, please stand now. We appreciate your service and leadership. I know Cynthia's here. Oh, I can't see. Anyway, life is good. Just so you know, I tried to get Mike Battaglia to come lead us off today, and I couldn't pay him enough. So, if you're a member of the Rotary Club and have a guest, please make your way to the microphone in the back. Introduce your guest. Guests, please stand to be recognized. While they're doing it, guests, if you'll come afterwards to learn more about our club and consider joining, Craig Sherman will be back at this table. All right. Tracy, you got a guest? No. All right. I know we've got guests. All right. So Mark Jones is here. Mark is our valedictorian from Western High School, a Rotary Honors Scholars Program and Promise Scholarship recipient and graduate, and we're glad Mark is here. Any other guests? Thank you. Jackie Jones' dad is here again. So glad you're back with us. Thank you. I'm sorry, Tracy was saying I can't see.
Carlos has a guest.
Oh, Carlos, please Tell me who your guest is.
Marilyn Cordova Winchell. She's a realtor with Keller Williams, formerly a journalist, Spanish journalist here in town.
Great, thank you. Welcome. Thank you, Carter. All right. Now then, before we get in, we've got lengthy introductions here in a minute, and I'm gonna have to go through this relatively quickly, but that's okay. So we've had tornadoes in West Kentucky, floods in Eastern Kentucky, and now we've got the hurricane in Florida. And your Rotary Club and the Rotary Club International is doing lots in all these places. So please read your sparks to see how you can help. Karen Morrison, is Karen here? Karen gave us this. We have an opportunity to directly make a difference for Ukrainians here in our community that desperately need to work. All are here legally and qualify for employment, but the federal government is really behind. They've been waiting for months to get their Social Security numbers and therefore can't get a job. Please contact Karen if you can help with this. West Louisville Housing Initiative, we just said we're down the stretch in a dead heat. Denise Sears wanted me to ask you that several people have made lots of pledges, so first of all, thank you. And then some folks are going, hey, I made a pledge, but let me go ahead and pay the whole 5 years off early. And that certainly helps us get people in homes faster, so that would be great. Also glad to announce that we have a new treasurer here at the Rotary Club of Louisville. Kim Halbauer, the regional director of Fifth Third Bank, has agreed to serve out this year and then the following year so we can get on a staggered basis. So Kim is not here, she's out of the country, but when she comes, welcome her for her service. Also, there it is worthy of it, absolutely. Thank you, Kim. Just so you all know, the lead gift for the West Louisville Housing Initiative was at the behest of Fifth Third Bank, and Kim spearheaded that. It's a big deal. Service above self nominations, please get those to Karen Morrison. Karen and Meredith. I just went blank. Somebody here, Erickson. Thank you for service above self award nominations. Look in your sparks, and there'll be a link to do that. We've got Kevin Fields here today, but we've got the Louisville Central Community Center, LCCC Summit, and the Light the Way Awards, where Rotary's going to be a sponsor. We've always been working with LCCC on several things, but on October 21st, it's a Friday, come and see. Now I'm happy to turn the podium over to today's announcer, although I just did a bunch. Alice Bridges, principal at AOB Consulting, Paul Harris Fellow +6, and one of the best darn presidents we've ever had. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, President Walt, and I'm excited to announce that Jean West is the spotlight this week in an article in today's Woman magazine featuring our West Louisville Housing Initiative. Tawana Bain has generously donated 80 copies of the magazine. They're around on the tables or at the door when you leave, so please be sure to check that out. You'll notice quite a few Rotarians are mentioned in this issue as well. Special thanks to Matt Riggle, who represented Rotary last night at the Lou City FC game. They generously offered our club the opportunity to have a table at home games to share news about Rotary's work in eradicating polio and to promote World Polio Day. I think that's awesome. So many people still don't know what Rotary is, so any chance we can to be out there is good. Thanks to Julie Schmidt for capturing this photo of Rotary on the road. If you're out and about in your travels and you see a Rotary symbol while you're out and about, send it to Delene and let us know. Again, letting more people know about the good work of Rotary wherever we are. Tom Crimmins and Craig Mooney will share information about our Rotary Honor Scholar Program at the Rotary University session that will immediately follow this meeting. Not sure which table, but maybe
Just meet in front.
meet in the front at the end of the meeting for Rotary University, and that's open it's for new members. This is the orientation program that we have for our new members, but really for anybody. So if you want to know more about Rotary Honor Scholar Program, stick around for a very short orientation to our signature effort, one of our signature efforts. Repair Affair, it's tomorrow from noon to 4 p.m. at 2304 Oak Street. I'm going to be there. Will you come out and join us as we paint exterior areas of a home and a newly installed deck and ramp for a person living with a disability at that location? Wear your paint clothes, bring some gloves, New Directions Housing Corporation, which runs Repair Fair, will do all the rest. We hope also to have some of our Interact Club students be there with us. So what a great opportunity to work side by side with some amazing young people and some not so young people doing service in our community. If you're interested, connect with Larry Sloan, and also David Snyder from New Directions is here today, I think, as well. So love to have you. It's never too late to sign up. Our October Rotary Honor Scholar Program dates are also on the screen and in DAC-TV and on our club website. So join us if you can. No experience is needed to be a mentor. Craig Mooney's doing an awesome job spearheading that program, and he sent us all an email just recently about this month's theme. What's it called? 521828. Never mind. I read it, but I can't remember exactly how it works. It's about shaking hands with confidence.
Give me 8.
Give me 8. I knew there were numbers in there. So if you can teach young people how to introduce themselves with confidence. Kevin Fields will host Denise Sears as a guest at his Russell on the Move podcast next Thursday, October 13th. You can tune in at 9 a.m. to hear them talk about our West Louisville Housing Initiative. It's WLLV 1240 AM. So check that program out if you're able to. And then mark your calendars. Tuesday, October 18th, the Kentucky Waterways Alliance will host a special 50th anniversary celebration press event on the Great Lawn at noon. Our Rotary Fund President, Gene West, will present a big check representing our grant in support of the Saving Our Rivers partnership that our club and Kentucky Waterways Alliance have forged. Okay, back to you, Walt.
All right, Alice can't leave yet. We're going to demonstrate Give Me 8. It's 5 fingers and a firm handshake, looking you dead in the eyes too, and a big smile. And I know we all want to give Alice a big smile and round for being our introducer, our announcer today. If nothing else, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun right now. Chris Banzo is going to come back up here, and we get to induct a whole lot of new Rotarians.
Thank you again, President Walt. It's exciting, very exciting. I don't know if you all heard the thing about COVID the last couple of years, and membership and participation in person, of course, was not permissible. Our overall new membership in the last couple of years was down because of that. This year, it's popped right back up. And today, fellow Rotarians, it is the duty of our Rotary Club from time to time to introduce new members. We have 12 new members being inducted into our club today. At this time, I'd like to invite Jay Mallory up, co-chair of the membership committee. There he is. Boy, I must say, the glare off this is pretty strong. Jay and I will be introducing the members. We'd like the members to come and stand, and then we'll read your bios. And Walt's going to hand you a pin and welcome to our club. Michelle Black-White, she's here today. She is. Tracy Davis, Courtney Evans, Adam Paul, Katie Jo Gleasing, Joan Hannett. There they go. Mary Ellen Harned, Carlos, Kimberly Mallory, Christopher Twist. Like I said, long list today. Wait till you get to the bios. Jane Walsh. All right. Wow. That's you all over there? Let's come up a little bit. We're going to have to get some pins here. Sure, just at the bottom. Perfect. Lord, look at that. It's like half a Louisville.
Let me keep going.
No, well, just slightly in the background. All right, to new members. You've been elected to membership in the Downtown Rotary Club because we believe you're a worthy representative of your calling and possess qualities that will permit you to exemplify in your public, business, social, and private life the true spirit of Rotary, the 4-way test. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, usually I don't have problems projecting. But you've been admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Louisville, but also to the worldwide organization of over 46,000 clubs around the world. And by virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcome to the fellowship of any Rotary Club in the world. I'm going to go ahead and begin reading the bios of our new members, and then President Walt is going to hand out pens. And Jay and I are going to tag team this so you don't get bored of my voice. First, we welcome Michelle Black-White. She's Executive Director of Brightside Foundation and previously led Gallapalooza in 2015 before it became part of the foundation. Brightside is a public-private partnership. Michelle oversees strategic planning, fund development, and fiduciary oversight of the partnership. This past year, she created a series of Gallapalooza custom bourbon bottle statues to raise money for Brightside and support downtown distilleries, including Old Forester, Rabbit Hole, my fave, and Angel's Envy. Michelle has degrees in marketing and graphic design, University of Louisville, and a member of the Leadership Louisville class of 2021. Almost the best class ever. Give me a second. She spent the first decade of her career working in advertising and account management and new business development. As community volunteer, Michelle has been active in Junior League of Louisville since 1994 and is currently serving as the president through May of 2023. She's served on boards of KMAC, Brightside, Gallapalooza, and Parent Association of Sacred Heart Model Schools in St. X. She's married to husband David for 30 years, and they have 3 sons. Jackson studied aerospace engineering, actually a rocket scientist, and identical twins Henry and Peter, who are sophomores at St. X and run cross country. Michelle is also a runner, Peloton junkie, painter, French bulldog lover, occasional blogger, and loves to cook for friends. So she will be quite at home here in Rotary. Let's give a warm welcome to Michelle. Tracy Davis. Sorry, glare.
Let's go right here, right
Yeah, we will do photographs afterwards, so you all don't have to just hang out and snap some selfies. Tracy is a graduate of NKU, Chase College of Law, and University of Kentucky Gatton School of Business. Tracy currently owns and operates Tracy D. Davis, Esquire, PLLC, a private law practice and diversity consulting company, Diversity University Limited, Co. Tracy serves on the boards of LISC Advisory, Inside the Lines, Foster Care Review Board, Chestnut Street YMCA, Kentucky Executive Board for the American Cancer Society, and the Board of Trustees of the Kentucky Opera. When do you sleep?
I know. And I'm pretty faint.
Welcome.
Isn't it great having to use 2 folks up here because we're afraid we'll lose our voice because we have so many new members to introduce?
Amazing.
It's amazing. Courtney Evans, come on up. All right. Courtney began her role as the Director of Advancement at Jewish Family Career Services in January 2022. Her department oversees fundraising events, individual giving, volunteer engagement, and grants. She's from Lexington, holds a BA in International Studies with a focus on international development in Latin America from the University of Kentucky. Go Wildcats. She earned an MS in International Development from Tulane University and has completed various internships focused on human rights. Courtney served as a Peace Corps volunteer in Ecuador. As a community and youth development strategist, she taught about human rights, English, sex education, gender equality, and drug and alcohol prevention. Courtney served 2 years as a Global Partnerships Director at Mission 108, a small anti-human trafficking nonprofit in Lexington, before moving to Massachusetts to work as a Regional Program Director and then Director of Operations for Big Brothers Big Sisters. She's excited to be representing JFCS at Rotary and also to work in the Partners for Peace project. So join me in welcoming Courtney. Adam Hall, where's Adam? Hey Adam. Somebody join me in welcoming Adam. So Adam is the Vice President, Community and Economic Development for Fifth Third Bank, where he manages signature community programs for the Kentucky region, including eBus, Empower You, Next Jobs, and Young Bankers Club. He provides financial empowerment and education to more than 1,000 people, families, and small businesses annually, and consistently ranks in the top 1% for total community service hours. Adam graduated magna cum laude with a BA from Eastern Kentucky University. He has been with the bank for 17 years and served 27 years in the financial services industry. Prior roles included Community Development Relationship Manager and Emerging Markets Mortgage Loan Officer. He's a graduate of the Leadership Louisville Bingham's Fellows, as well as Leadership Evansville, and is a member of the Leadership Southern Indiana class of 2000. I hope I never have to like write one of these for myself, because I would feel like she just keeps going here. Board officer roles include Chair for Family Scholar House and St. Benedict's Early Childhood Education Center, Vice Chair for the Housing and Homeless Coalition for Kentucky, Secretary for New Directions Housing Corporation, and Treasurer for Rebound, the Metropolitan Housing Coalition, and the Louisville Asset Building Coalition. He has served as a member of several other boards and committees. So join me in welcoming Adam.
Next up is Katie Jo Gleasy. Katie Jo. Katie Jo works full-time as a corporate outreach coordinator for the U of L College of Business, helping students from all over the globe connect to industries worldwide and within Metro Louisville. Prior to this role, Katie Jo was a senior district executive for the Southern Indiana District with the Boy Scouts of America for 4 years. She has volunteered as a native and exotic wildlife caretaker and done rehab and releases at a wildlife refuge featured in Netflix Tiger King. You'll have to ask questions about that. Volunteered with academic paranormal research and now runs her own history and paranormal blog, Boo 812.
812.
812. Boo, thank you. Old guy here. Katie Jo loves taking a deep dive into interesting topics and is always happy to grab a cup of coffee, talk about community engagement, conversations, and pair up with a graduate interns for your company. Welcome, Katie Jo. All right. Next new member, Joan Hannett. Hey, Joan. As the founder and CEO of the Soma Institute, Joan oversees the strategic direction of the Chicago and Toronto-based education and staffing solutions company, which specializes in clinical massage therapy and health and wellness coaching and training. Soma will be opening in Louisville centers in January of 2023. Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you.
Prior to starting Soma, Joan was an instructor of political science at York University in Toronto, Canada. She is a member of the Economic Club of Chicago, the International Women's Forum, and Committee of 200, the Canadian U.S. Bank Business Council Board, and Strategic Advisory Board of Metropolitan Capital Bank and Trust, the College Council of Women Employed, and the Advisory Board of the Coleman Entrepreneurship Center at DePaul University, and the founder and board chair of the Women in Entrepreneurship Institute of DePaul University. Wow, I gotta get out and do a little bit more here. Joan, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Mary Ellen Hardy. She looks familiar. Many of us in here. So Mary Ellen's professional background is in education and nonprofit management. For many years, she was director of a unique public-private partnership to educate the Louisville community on the Americans with Disabilities Act. She then served as executive director of Guardian Care Services, providing services to vulnerable seniors. In retirement, she volunteers with her church, Louisville Public Media, and Kentucky Refugee Ministries, where she is also a member of the board. She and her husband have 2 adult children, one in Louisville and the other in Nashville. In this club, she's best known as the wife of Rick Harden, with whom she has attended 5 international Rotary conventions and is an active member of Rotary International Travel and Hosting Fellowship and the Wine Appreciation Fellowship. Together, they've regularly visited international service projects in Central America and have enjoyed home hospitality with Rotarians around the world. So join me in welcoming Mary Ellen. So Carlos Hernandez Ocampo. Welcome, Carlos. Carlos is a native Spanish speaker born in Cuba and has devoted his life to meeting meaningful connections with the people he meets. He's a U.S. Navy veteran and licensed Kentucky attorney and speaks fluent English, Spanish, Bosnian, and Italian. Wow. He was formerly trained as an oil painter, receiving his bachelor's degree in studio art from U of L in 2015. Carlos is the managing partner of Emergence Law, the law firm he founded right out of law school. His practice focuses on startup law and offers general counsel services to several local businesses. He's also the assistant clinic director of the entrepreneurship clinic at Louis D. Brandeis School of Law at U of L. He's the chair of the solo and small practice section of the Louisville Bar Association and serves on the board of Canopy, Kentucky. Join me in welcoming Carlos.
Our next new member is Jackie Jones. Jackie Jones has her MBA and has worked for several Fortune 500 companies in Chicago. She recently accepted a position as a loan officer with Republic Bank, a here in Louisville. She's the wife of Ron Jones, and they have 4 children. She serves on the board of a nonprofit organization that helps foster kids, and her favorite phrase is, "Have you had your vitamins today?" Awesome. Didn't see that coming. And she is also the CEO of Vita Shot Beverage Bar LLC, a vitamin and hemp company that offers protein shakes and other organic wellness items to help people live longer, look better, and live happier lives. This summer, she launched a mobile trailer with liquid vitamins and snow cones for kids. Vita Shot has a retail location in Las Vegas, Nevada, but is primarily an e-commerce company that recently expanded internationally. Welcome, Jackie. Kimberly Mallory? Kimberly has been in the Louisville area for 2 years and currently serves as the Executive Director of Graduate Programs at the University of Louisville's College of Business. She has the best job on the planet because she gets to work with a huge variety of people, including students, which can at times be frustrating, faculty, staff, alumni, and business leaders across the spectrum. Her career in higher education has included roles at a variety of institutions, such as the College of William & Mary, University of Tennessee, Vanderbilt University, and Cumberland University. Her undergraduate degree is from Tuscaloosa University, and she earned her MBA at the University of Tennessee.
Go Vols.
In her free time,
It's okay, I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
in her free time, she enjoys travel and all things creative, including writing, needlework, furniture painting, and cooking a good meal. Welcome.
Thank you.
Christopher Twist. Come on up, Chris. At the age of 24, Christopher started KLT Print Services, a fine art printing and photography company located in downtown Louisville, working with local artists including Bob Lockhart, C.J. Fresno, Russell Huxley, and the photographic collection of Gene Spatz. His work has been featured in Time, Life, Rolling Stones, NPR, and international publications. And one of the sharpest dressers you're going to find. Later, he transitioned into real estate to help manage his family's properties and is now president of property management at Howe Real Estate and a licensed realtor. Christopher owns and operates KLT Services LLC, a property management and general contracting company specializing in commercial and residential real estate upkeep, and is the managing partner of Adams Rental Proprietorship. In conjunction with his real estate career, he partnered with Helium Foundation to build out infrastructure for a global decentralized Omni wireless network in Louisville, Lexington, and Covington. Outside of work, Christopher enjoys playing pickleball and golf and spending time with his family. So join me in welcoming Christopher to our class. And last but not least, Jane Walsh. No, it's never easy.
We're almost glad for W's, right?
Jane Walsh is the Director of Mission Advancement at St. John Center, a nonprofit organization providing street outreach, day shelter, social services, and permanent housing to people experiencing homelessness. Jane has been an advocate for fair and affordable housing for over 25 years. She was the Director of Development at the Center for Women and Families, as well as the Executive Director of the Metropolitan Housing Coalition. She serves as a consultant on housing fund development and strategic planning locally for clients including Louisville Metro Government, the Housing Partnership, Inc., and Habitat for Humanity, and nationally for clients including the Annie E. Casey Foundation and the Aspen Institute. Jane is a Louisville native. She has 2 adult children and lives in Camp Taylor neighborhood where she gardens, knits, reads, and spends time with her family and extended family. So join me in welcoming Jane. And I believe afterwards, if everybody will come up for a picture, we want to get a group photo of all of our new members. So let's give them one more round of applause. Welcome our new members.
Well, now for the fine print. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it expectations, including to attend the club's meetings and events, to perform your share of club service, and to place your knowledge and talents at the disposal of the club and its task of carrying the principles of Rotary into the daily life of Louisville. We now formally induct you as members of the Downtown Rotary Club, and President Walt presented your pen certificate. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in welcoming all of our new members.
And all you members that have been here for a while, from when you start coming saying, I don't know anybody, now you know the reason, but it also gives you reason to go introduce yourself to our new members and always to our guests. So thank you for that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jay, for all your great work. Our club is alive and vibrant. And now, for the main event, ding, 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 I get to bring Ken Salvaggi up to introduce Ken, General Manager of ESPN Louisville, Paul Harris Fellow, sustaining member, and he's coming to the podium to introduce our speaker. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, President Walt. Our guest speaker today, Pat Armstrong, smiles a lot, and for good reason. He's been married for 30 years. He has 2 wonderful, accomplished daughters. He's had an amazing professional career spanning more than 30 years, the last 7 as president and CEO of the Kentucky Derby Museum, where he has added some amazing attractions and was honored as a most admired CEO by Louisville Business First. That was just 6 years ago, the museum was honored as the nonprofit business of the year. Pat made a huge impact for 2 decades at the Kentucky Derby Festival, serving for 10 of those years as the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Development. He assembled an amazing team that brought in sponsorship dollars to enable the festival to thrive then and now, as one of his team member hires replaced him. He also worked 7 years in broadcasting. He was marketing director of WLKY TV for 5 years. Some of those Pat Armstrong smiles come from the memories of the more than 350 concerts he's been to, including all 4 days of the recent Bourbon and Beyond Festival. And his 8,000 song music library. The Rolling Stones are his favorite group, and Honky Tonk Woman his favorite song. And some of those Pat smiles come when he remembers catching passes on the gridiron and making shots on the basketball court as co-captain of both the football and basketball teams as a junior and senior at Bullitt East High School, a member of the school's first graduating class. Pat also graduated from Eastern Kentucky University with a double major in management and marketing. He's also a graduate of Leadership Louisville. And this year he completed 4 years of service as the chairman of the board of directors for Assumption High School. Louisville Business First just came out with their recent 2022 40 Under 40. Pat was a member of that class 20 years ago, and safe to say, if there wasn't an award for 60 Under 60, he would get that too. He's continued to be an amazing, recognizable star in the community. Pat Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Ken, for telling everybody how old I am. Appreciate that. So, let me start off. My presentation today is going to be a little bit of a 2-part presentation. The first of which is going to be a little more about the Kentucky Derby Museum and what I get paid to do every day, which I will argue is one of the best jobs in the city. The magic of the Kentucky Derby carries on 365 days a year, and all but 5 of those days, the museum brings that to the community. So, for better or for worse, the museum never closes. We're closed 5 days a year, and enjoy bringing the Kentucky Derby to those that come into our doors every day. The second part of my presentation today will be more of a lessons I've learned over the course of time in leadership positions and a couple of things like that. So we'll jump right into it. So our mission at the museum is to engage, educate, and excite everyone about the extraordinary experience that is the Kentucky Derby. We take that very sincerely, and it's a very important mission. and one that we are the preservers of the history of the Kentucky Derby, and we are very proud to carry that moniker. The vision statement, which, believe it or not, we just changed. We had a strategic plan come forth in the last 6 months. Our board of directors worked with staff, and we have a new strategic plan, and we determined a new vision for the museum. And you can see that there, or maybe you can. To be a world-renowned cultural asset that evokes the excitement of the Kentucky Derby. And the cultural asset part is the piece that we're most proud of. We are on Business First's latest nonprofit list. We are number 22 in area largest nonprofits. The museum opened its doors in 1985. A little bit of a myth buster here. We are not a part of Churchill Downs, nor Churchill Downs Racetrack. They are great partners of ours, and we couldn't do what we do without them, but we are self-sustaining. The museum raises all its own money. We have, as I said, a great partnership with Churchill, but they do not fund us, and we are technically a separate entity. The little postage stamp of property that the museum sits on Central Avenue, was deeded to the museum in 2001. So we own just that little square. And so if you are going to complain about parking problems, that's not us. We don't do parking. We don't own the parking lot. So I hope that all goes well. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We have a 22-member board of directors. Nearly 100 museum employees, team members. Usually that fluctuates a bit. At Derby time, we'll go up to about 120 or so, given that we operate retail in both at the Churchill Downs store on site and also in the museum. We have a robust volunteer program called the Outriders. And we just launched a bourbon club. It's free to join, so if you want to, let me do a little shameless self-promotion. If you want to find out about that, go to our website, derbymuseum.org. But we launched it 2 weeks ago, and I think we have over 1,400 bourbon club members. Costs nothing to join, so check that out if you get a chance. So we have a little sizzle reel here that our team put together, and so with any luck, we'll launch that real quick. All right, so our team just put that together here recently for the Business First Power 50 reception, which we hosted at the museum. So your experience at the museum can be customized. We can pretty much do whatever you like, as we are the exclusive tour partner of Churchill Downs. So we have groups come in, senior groups, business groups. We have annual meetings by some of the banks in town. We conduct VIP tours for groups as small as 10 or so, and can go up to a group of 2,100 for that will be at the whole museum. We'll take care of the whole museum. Sports teams in town for tournaments, and just this past Monday we were able to do a Make-A-Wish for a young girl, 9 years old. So we curated an experience for her that was wonderful, and it was for a great cause. So since Churchill Downs only races 75 days a year, we are responsible to carry that brand and the experience to all of our visitors, many of which will not attend a Kentucky Derby live. So we're responsible for giving them that unbelievable experience that is the Derby. A big part of that is our feature exhibit called The Greatest Race. And if you've been to the museum, and I hope you have, you will know that The Greatest Race is the 18-minute movie we do in a 360-degree theater in the middle of the museum. We update that each year. With the winner, it's about a minute and a half of video that we put in. That has been that was updated last in its entirety in 2015, and stay tuned in coming years. We're going to update it again. The only problem with that is it takes about $3 million to update it, so we're working on that now. It is our signature exhibit, and we show The Greatest Race at 10 minutes after every hour each day, and also at special events. Some of our featured exhibits, we opened Black Heritage in Racing in April of 2021. That's been a very popular exhibit for us. It's on the first floor. We also have a Black Heritage in Racing traveling exhibit that many of the groups outside of the state have asked us to loan to them. And so that's been a wonderful addition to the museum for us. Our latest was This is the Kentucky Derby. It is an exhibit that explains why the Derby is important. The economics of the Derby, some of the past magnificent moments of the Derby, and that is right inside the starting gate to the left. Stay tuned for major exhibit news coming up in future years. This coming year, 2023, we are doing a permanent and major Secretariat exhibit. So 2023 will be the 50th anniversary of Secretariat's 1973 Derby win and Triple Crown win. For those of you that don't know, a little trivia, so much for having a big heart. Secretariat's heart, the size of his heart, was actually 22 pounds. A normal thoroughbred, the heart weighs 8 pounds. So one of the reasons that is always stated as Secretariat's crowning success was that he had a huge heart and able to pump more blood as he ran. 2.5 times larger than a normal thoroughbred. In 2024, that is Derby 150. So I can't tell you how excited we are at the museum and at Churchill Downs Racetrack to host Derby 150. And there are big plans for that. And for those of you that are in the know, the PGA is at Valhalla 2 weeks later. So 2024 in Louisville is going to be a major year for us, and I hope you're able to participate in that. Our education team does outreach, and we have a vehicle that goes out into the state. We have 3 teachers on staff, and they talk to usually in the fall and in early spring, they will take the car out to the different schools around the state. We have visited each of the 120 counties in Kentucky and a few in southern Indiana. We also have field trips at the museum, and that's a popular spot. Most of the time, when you talk to folks, they say, I haven't been to the museum in a while, or they'll say, yeah, I was there when I came on a field trip as a kid. So obviously we invite you to come back, but the field trips are a mainstay and a part of our main course at the museum. They are free from December through February each year. So the Kentucky Derby Museum Gala is approaching year 36, and we usually have the gala 1 week and 1 day in front of the Kentucky Derby, so it's 1 week in front of the Oaks. It's our largest fundraiser and usually sells out about 500 people. Kentucky Derby Museum Gala is a great time. And events, we have museum-produced events, Biscuits and Bourbon, the gala, as I mentioned, several other events. We have a hat show in March, but then we also rent the museum. In 2019, which is a record year for us, we rented the museum 340 times over the course of the year in 2019. So almost every day, someone was in the museum. That has been building back since COVID, and we're almost there. I think this past year we were just over 300 rentals for the fiscal year, which our fiscal year, by the way, is October through September. We just finished our 2022 fiscal year on September 30, last week. Rentals, weddings, rehearsal dinners, corporate events, and so on. And this is breaking news, and I'm not supposed to tell you this. Leo is breaking this on the 12th, I believe. But we were just voted the best place to rent, best rental venue in town, and the best place to host an event or party. So please don't tell Leo I told you that today. So people often ask, okay, what was the most attended derby, and a little bit about the derby itself. And I can tell you the most attended derby was about 170,000 at the 2015 Kentucky Derby, which is the picture on your left. That was American Pharoah's first leg of the Triple Crown win. The first Triple Crown won in 37 years at that time. So that was the most attended derby. The other thing I need to tell you about is the COVID year. So that's me with my mask on, and that is a picture taken from the grandstand on Derby Day in 2020. That's the September Derby with no spectators. So you'll be able to see the dichotomy there. And so a lot of things have changed since then, obviously, but we were incredibly pleased that Churchill Downs made the effort and all the things that went into keeping the tradition going of running the Kentucky Derby in 2020. There were a lot of reasons that it was destined to not happen, but with the commitment and the forethought, we were able to pull that derby off even in September. So I've been fortunate to work with a lot of the legendary and longtime famous trainers. This is a photo of Dwayne Lucas. Wayne has a major exhibit at the museum. He's been very good to us. Wayne was the trainer of the Oaks winner this past year, Secret Oath. And so I do need to tell you a little sidebar story on Secret Oath. So Wayne this past year was 86 years old. And so Wayne, even at 86 years old, he trains horses every morning. He's back there at 4 a.m. every morning. And so Secret Oath was one of the favorites in the Oaks this past year. And 86 is the year I graduated from EKU. So I decided it would be fun to put $86 to win on Secret Oath. And so it paid $440, and I was a happy man. I've also had access to some not so famous horse racing celebrities over time, and this is a photo of the Rich Strike team, Eric Reed and the Rich Strike team. What a fantastic victory this past year, and what a great story to tell. So we hosted a reception for the Rich Strike team earlier this summer, and an 81-to-1 shot. And I didn't have any money on that one. Won no money on him. But a nicer bunch of people you'll never find. I'm sure you've probably seen the media stories on Eric Reed. and all the trials and tribulations he's had as a trainer over the course of time. But it was a fantastic derby, and it was great to get back to a regular derby where we had a regular winner that wasn't named in February. And so Rich Strike crossed the finish line on time, and we were able to tell that story. So, which brings me to the second part of my talk to you today. A little bit of things that I've learned in leadership over the course of time. I've been working professionally since I was 23 years old. So I'll date myself again. That means 38 years in professional life. And one of the things that has been very important is this quote: "The ability to learn is the most important quality a leader can have." There's a couple of stories I'm getting ready to tell you, and to coin the phrase that everybody always says, you can't make these up, so I hope you enjoy them. One of them, the first one that I'll talk about is conflict resolution. So I'll set this up for you. So I am, at the time, 24 years old, and I have just completed an internship at the Kentucky Derby Festival, and I came on full-time in 1988. And so my first job there at the Derby Festival, I worked there 21 years in total, 10 years the first time and 11 years later. So my first job at the festival was an event coordinator, and I was given the Pegasus Parade as an event to work on. And at that time, the event people, we all had about 10 or 12 events apiece, but the parade is a massive undertaking. There's about 150 people, a core group of about 150 volunteers that work on the parade each year. And the Pegasus Parade at that time went from Campbell on Broadway down to 9th Street. And so there are about 110, 115 units in the parade at that time. And Jack Guthrie, who's here with us today, will remember those days, those parade days. And so this particular year, they had to clean out the parade committee, and as you know, firing volunteers is next to your heart if you ever had to do that. So I was a new parade event coordinator with a new group of folks to put the parade down the street. And so one of the first things we were faced with is, and you can't make this up, so there were two warring clown factions in town. They went to different schools. There were two clown schools in Louisville at that time, and they didn't go along. They couldn't stand each other. And so we had to resolve this conflict, and you have to have clowns for the parade, right? So we decided to have a meeting. And so we asked these two warring clown factions to come to a meeting at the Derby Festival office, which at that time was at 137 West Ali. And so I'm literally sitting in a conference room, and there are warring clown factions on both sides of the table. And so I'm thinking, as a music fan, I'm thinking all those things that that go through your mind, like Smokey Robinson's Tears of a Clown, and of course Steelers Wheel, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Stuck in the middle with you, right? So that's what was going through my head. The other thing that was going through my head at that time was, okay, so I'm a college graduate, and I am here trying to justify the existence and work through a conflict with a group of clowns. But we got through it, and so the resolution to that was that each clown school got to work one side of Broadway, and we forbid them to cross. And so that's how that one worked out. And so the moral of the story is, always be fair, even when dealing with a bunch of clowns. So the next story is really not a derby story, but it's my mom passed a couple of years ago. This is one of her favorite stories. So growing up, I worked at, my parents owned an oil dealership, a gas station that included a gas station in Taylorsville, Kentucky. So my summer job was to work at the gas station. And the general manager of the gas station, his name was Jack Gilbert, and Jack was a very large black man. If I'll date myself again, if anybody remembers Rosie Greer from the Los Angeles Rams in the late 60s, early 70s, Jack looked just like him. Looked exactly like Rosie Greer, mustache and all, right? Everybody loved Jack. And so Jack was general manager of the bulk plant and also the gas station. So I worked with Jack every day. Everybody loved him. So we had a gentleman come in one day and he said, you know, I need to talk to Jack. And I said, well, you know, he's not here right now. And he said, well, you know, I need you to find Jack. I really got to talk to him. And he pulled up in a farm truck and so on. So I went to find Jack. Came back, and so Jack.
I take them as the Derby Museum, and it gives you the entire flavor of what our city's about. So I want to thank you for that. And if you're not doing that with your friends coming from out of town and you want to be really proud of Louisville, there's several places to go, but I would suggest that the Kentucky Derby Museum is your first. I went to a rehearsal dinner there this summer, and it was just out of this world. Also want to recognize Ken Salvaggi. I didn't have this on here, and I looked and I knew it. Ken is the chair of the board of the Kentucky Derby Festival, so that's why he got to, support that. And for us to show our appreciation for you being here today, Pat, the Rotary Club of Louisville is making a donation in your honor of $500 to our West Louisville Housing Initiative. Thank you. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time for door prizes. And Jay Mallory, I want you to
mention that they're business card sized passes on each table,
Wow.
2 each, and those are free passes for the museum.
Oh, free passes to the museum, more door prizes that you didn't have to get pulled out. So thank you. One more second, Pat, because you're going to pull out our door prize. I'll let you do this. And Jay Mallory brought some door prizes from his business. So if you have things at your business that's sitting in a closet and you want to share it with us, that'd be great. So we'll do this right now. Next week we'll do that. And the number is 487-448. 487-448. Going once. We're the auctioneer. We go. Ken Salvaggi, of course he did. Of course he did. I told you, I'm glad you waited for a second before you raised your hand. Thanks, Ken. All right, we're moving on. Thank you, Pat. And yes. I just thought of this with all the 12 new members that we just got today, and they just got their pins. Everybody that comes and wears their pin will get an extra entry into our door prize next week. I know y'all are dying for that. So next week, next Thursday, this is a big one. 3rd District Congressional Candidate Forum will be right here at Joe's Palm Room with candidate Morgan McGarvey, Democrat, and Republican candidate Stuart Ray, moderated by Shay Van Hoy, Editor-in-Chief at Louisville Business First. We're expecting to reach maximum capacity of this room, so get your reservations in early. Rotarians will get priority through tomorrow at 4, or scan the QR code at your table. Our head count deadline is Monday. If you have questions for the candidates, please submit them by Monday at noon as well to our Speakers Committee Chair, Ashley Brower. And last but not least, Walt's words of wisdom. You can take a horse to water, but it can't make them drink, right? You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. These are from last week, so let me just read them over here. I don't know, hey, can anything be bigger than the Kentucky Derby? If you hear something, let me know. Alice Walker, how horses make a landscape look beautiful. And then Winston Churchill opines, there is something about the outside of a horse that is good for the inside of a man. And lastly, in honor of Secretariat, a horse by Kingdom for a Horse. All that Shakespeare. I'll tell you, waiting for the Derby to start is the longest day of your life. It's just a neat time of thrill and tension and worry. And we're off. Thank you all today. We're adjourned.